From Studio 3 at Buzz TV, it's The Horse's Mouth with Tom McManus.
All right, welcome into The Horse's Mouth here at Tommy Max. Of course, we sit down at my bar and tell your story. It's Raising the Bar segment with our friend Alan Pickert, and brought to you by our good friends at Terrell Hogan Law. He's got one of his partners in town, and we're at the bar, and we're going to talk some law. Let's get into it with our panel. Alan, how are you, my friend?
Good to see you.
Good to see you, and you brought Chris Shakib. Hey, Chris.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. How you doing?
Very good. Very good.
So how do all you attorneys get along at Terrell Hogan? Do y'all get along, kumbaya?
Not at all. We can't stand each other. We try to avoid each other. It's like what the Beatles, right before their breakup, we
kind of like that.
We'll make our appearances together, but behind the scenes, it's terrible.
There you go. Well, you got to put on a good front, Chris,
yes.
right? But behind the scenes, that's whatever.
So if this was a deposition, I would chastise my witness right now because I said your sarcasm doesn't come through on the paper, and when they read that to the jury, it's going to look like, oh, they hate each other.
There you go.
So tell them the truth real quick.
The truth is, I've been with Terrell Hogan for almost 19 years now,
cool.
And people tend to stay in our firm for a long time. It's more of a family, and I think that's a good way to describe how we are with not just the attorneys but the staff.
Yep.
And it's been my family for a long time. And Alan was a year ahead of me at University of Florida for law school. Yeah, we all go back, and we all do actually
have the roots.
Yes.
So I wanted Chris to come on because Chris has it on our show because Chris has a specialty niche that, to my knowledge, I don't know of any other lawyer in North Florida that does this, but he does cosmetic surgery malpractice cases. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
So nobody, when I went to law school, I definitely didn't say, what I want to do is I want to spend a lot of time dealing with medical malpractice lawsuits against cosmetic surgeons.
Right.
That was definitely not what I was thinking. But it's one of those things. A case comes in the door, and you look at it, and so that's what happened. I had some women come to me with a story, and I was going to say no, because most attorneys who handle med-mal will not handle a cosmetic surgery case because it's an elective procedure.
Right.
There's a perception that potential juries are going to say, well, you didn't have to do this, you shouldn't have done this, it's your own fault and things like that.
Right.
And so,
which isn't fair, really. I mean, you're going in to get a facelift, and they screw it up, and you look like, a gargoyle. I think you got a case.
I
know I'm just a bartender, but that seems like common practical to me.
That was the bent that I'll admit, even I'd turned down those cases before, but these cases were unusual in that it started off with a few women who had an identical story.
Wow.
With the same practice, and then. So, I started investigating it, and the first surgeon I talked to, who was head of plastic surgery at Duke University, told me, you don't have a case. And I said, oh, all right, well, so that's it. And I said, I don't know if I agree with that. So I went and talked to someone else, and he told me, no, this is a big deal.
Yep.
And the next thing I knew, I was representing hundreds of women with similar claims.
Wow.
And that's how I got started.
Let me, today's day and age, Ozempic's really big. Looking forward into the future, do you see there's going to be some stuff? There's got to be.
So in addition to medical malpractice, I also handle products liability cases involving medical devices and pharmaceuticals.
Okay. Wow.
Ozempic is the next big thing.
Yeah.
They're geared up.
Everywhere.
They're setting up what's called a multi-district litigation court for it, and there's going to be probably a massive amount of litigation on Ozempic. There are some side effects that weren't necessarily warned about that they're going after. And, so, yeah.
Yep. I can just imagine. I mean, that coming through. And, look, I mean, it is back to the cosmetic. It is elective, but, I mean, look, it's still surgery.
Well,
right?
look,
Or is it not surgery in the eyes of the law?
It is surgery in the eyes of the law, and our culturally, we put a lot of emphasis on appearance, particularly for women. Women are the primary customers for plastic surgery practices, cosmetic surgery, and they more often than not, most of my clients, they're not trying to look like somebody else. More often, they want to look like they did before they had a couple children or when they were a few years younger. They're not typically trying to look, make a massive change. And, that's not unusual. That's not surprising or unnatural. And, why? I don't think the juries actually will hold that against my clients because I don't think it's something unusual.
How about, Chris, how about men? Any men clients? I mean, I can imagine, I don't know if you take TRT, could there be some things down the road that there could be litigated? I don't know, I'm just thinking out loud, but are men ever a client?
Men can be a client. I have to admit, all my clients, and I've had several hundred now in the field, but I've never had a male plastic surgery med-mal client. I've had a male med-mal client, and I've represented a lot of males in other types of cases. But that doesn't mean that can't happen. There are procedures that men get. There was a very prominent businessman here in Jacksonville, I don't know, about 10 years ago, who was getting liposuction, and he died in the office, and that resulted in a very big lawsuit.
Right.
And so, it's definitely possible. It's not as common, but there's nothing, if you have a valid claim for a woman, you can have a valid claim for a man. I just don't think it's as common.
Yeah. When do you guys know as attorneys, when do you know when you're going to retire, like it's over? Like has the juice run out? Has the passion, the fire, does it ever run out?
Alan's laughing.
No, you're lifers. You'll do it forever. I mean, eventually it ends, doesn't it?
It does. Eventually it ends, and but with that said, like at our firm, Jim Terrell has been practicing law for 50 years and still comes in daily. Wayne Hogan's been practicing for 47 years, still comes in. Jim is 81. Wayne is 76 or 77. Still comes in daily.
So you're lifers, basically.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, look, the wife still gets the wife still gets the Amazon packages every day at the front doorstep. So when she can pull that plug on that, we can pull that.
It's not just Amazon; they come from all different angles.
So real quick before we wrap up, obviously Tom is in excellent shape, and we only can wish we had muscles like him, but. You're fit and trim, and you do something that's a little different. You do boxing.
Yes. Oh, yeah, boxing's great.
So, several years ago, I went through a divorce, and I had at that point, I had decided if I was going to become an alcoholic, a serial killer, or do something constructive. And the boxing is something that came up, and I think it saved my life. It changed everything. I was kind of doughy and not very active, and I did that, and then along with running and getting back to surfing, the boxing being the core of fitness.
I love that workout.
It changed my life. It gave me a lot more confidence. I think I'm a better lawyer for having done that.
Heck yeah. It gives you tremendous confidence.
It does.
It does.
It really does.
I was doing boxing for quite a while. Actually, my first bicep tears from a sparring incident.
Yes.
I was throwing a hook and top of my bicep broke and fell down to my elbow. So the boxing days were over after that. But it is a phenomenal workout.
But you can see why people get Tom and I mixed up
based
on that
I agree.
bicep. I mean, my bicep looks almost...
It looks good
if I didn't have the jacket on, it would be identical.
You had a tear too, but that was a shopping action.
Yes, that was a shopping act. I was trying to get the plastic bag open, and what little thing was there.
Ripped it open.
But I mean, that's similar,
Yeah,
it's still
very close. I think very close.
Yeah. As we wrap up, how you feeling about the stadium deal? The new stadium for the Jags.
We can't be without the Jags. We have to have the Jags.
Agreed.
If you look at every other NFL city, this is what they're doing. And do we really want to be the city that lost their NFL
No
team?
way. No.
So I think that's the bottom line.
I agree. Great answer. You already answered me, so
Yeah.
it's good to have you. Thanks, Chris. Great to have you, my friend.
Glad to
Alan,
be here.
awesome stuff.
Always
that
good
was
to see
fun.
you, my
Yeah.
friend.
Hey, make sure you check out Chris and Alan's profile. You can do it right there at the dailynewsnetwork.com website. You'll see this conversation. You'll see hundreds and hundreds, maybe even thousands of others. So until next time, stay safe out there and be cool. And we'll see you right here on The Horse's Mouth. Cheers.
Cheers.
Darrell Hogan Law is a collection of lawyers that help people solve problems in areas of life they're not able to solve them themselves.
We are not individuals. We are purely a team. We work together for all of our clients.
We have the resources to win your case and win it to such a degree that you're going to be very happy with the results.